You now tuned into the hottest podcast in the world, the Stay Woke Podcast, right here on the SonicBreakdown.com.
Welcome back to another Stay Woke Podcast. This is D-Ray Brinson, and you know the Stay Woke Podcast is presented by the SonicBreakdown.com. If you haven't read a review by now, you slipping, so please check out a review on the SonicBreakdown.com under the Breakdown page. And today is a special, I'll say, I guess, a Valentine's Day special Stay Woke Podcast. We're going to be talking about some love. We talked about it before on the dating episode, but we're going to go in a little bit different direction. Today we got Brotha to the left and Effin' Maddie, and we're going to give you some perspective. Hopefully we're going to have another part 2 of this shortly, where we'll have some female perspectives to add to it as well. And we do want to hear from the ladies and get their perspectives as well. So I'm trying to get that set up. We got Brotha to the left over here, man. He's in love, man, and that's something special. And I think he should share it. So we're gonna let him bring us into your world, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man. So, you know, anyone who's heard me before, you know, I'm usually good for getting on the social issues and things of that nature. And honestly, that's how this podcast was supposed to go tonight. You know, but I walked through this brother's door, and man, my heart was burning, and I couldn't do nothing but speak about this woman that I'm with. And you know, I couldn't do nothing but tell this brother that, hey, you know, like, man, so check this out, man, I done met my soulmate.
That's a special feeling. Like, I don't think many people, there's probably a lot of people out there right now that's going right now like, man.
Straight up, right? Okay, because I was of the same nature, though. You understand me? So I get it. I get that whole sentiment, because, you know, coming from where I come from and being conditioned the way I've been conditioned and having the bad relationships and dealing with the poor quality of women that I done dealt with, I was of the mindset that, hey, that shit is for the birds.
Wait, I wanna touch on something for a second though, because like bringing back is when you said that, you know, it was the quality of the women. Like, what was that quality that made you feel like you couldn't find that soulmate, or you don't have the connection that you feel like you have now?
So let me,
because I think that's important for people to understand, because it'll bring them into your world a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
Well, let me clarify just a little bit. You know, maybe I wasn't very clear there. So I most definitely have dealt with some bucket heads for sure. You understand me? I most definitely dealt with some bucket heads for sure. However, I've also dealt with some quality women as well. But with that said, for me personally, you know, with my background and having the needs that I need, and here's the thing, when it comes to love and when it comes to someone meeting your needs, it's going to be on a case by case basis, right?
Yeah. Because your needs ain't the same as my needs, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, right? Straight up. So here's my thing, right? I've honestly felt like I've been so conditioned and almost so scarred from relationships that for the longest, man, I didn't think that I was going to ever find anybody.
I got you.
I thought I was just going to go from one to the next and have a good time with this one for maybe some months or for a year, and then go on to the next one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, from speaking from my perspective, man, when you a young black male, man, and you got your shit together, the hard part ain't getting them, it's getting rid of them. You understand me? I'm going to say that again.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. You understand me, right? Because when you a young brother that got your shit together, the hard part ain't getting them; it's getting rid of them, right? Straight up, man. So I just always been on player mode, man. I always thought that's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna end for a minute. You feel me? I'm 30 years old, man. I didn't expect to find something like I got now until I was late 30s, 40s, something like that, right? But man, I didn't came across something that didn't change the whole game for me. And it has really caused me to retire and put down the whole player hat and all that. I'm done. I'm all the way done, bro. I don't want to hear nothing nobody talking about. It's me and the woman I'm with right about now, you know? And so, so let me get into the details. Let me get into what I was just telling this brother.
That's what I wanted
because
to know.
honestly, right, so we had a whole agenda that had nothing to do with love before I walked in the door. Brett texted me, a few days ago, like, this is gonna be the agenda for the podcast. And I'm like, all right, man, we're gonna speak on that. But I walked through the door with something burning on my heart, man, and I couldn't do nothing but talk about this woman and what I got going on with her, right? And so before I get into her, man, let me just tell you where I was coming from with it, right? And shit, so honestly, I think I kind of done told you a little bit, right? A brother was on the player shit, man, and doing this player thing and, dealing with different women and enjoying that, like truly enjoying being able to, look at my phone and figure out what flavor do I want tonight? Do I want this flavor tonight? Am I in the mood for this tonight? And I'm not going to get into the specifics of what each woman had to offer, but do I want this tonight? Do I want that tonight? Or do I want this tonight? Right? But there's something to be said, man, for a woman who meets all those expectations and who exceeds them and who was hitting on all cylinders because she's blowing everybody else out the water, man, to the point where you're ready to cut everyone else short and you don't see nothing but her.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead, man.
About how did you come to this conclusion? How did you just I guess you hear it all the time. It might be cliche, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did you just like within yourself just say, oh, that's the one and I don't need all these other ones?
Right. And you know what, man? There's a two-pronged answer to that, right?
Yeah.
There's a two-pronged answer to that, man. So, like, on one hand, to an extent, we either have this really literal and this really kind of, we have this bucket list of shit we're looking for, literally. But on the other hand, that second prong is you got that shit that's unspoken, man. That shit there's no words for it. So you got your list of, oh man, she's got to be intelligent. She's got to be caring. She's got to be nurturing. She's got to have that fortitude.
That's a checklist.
Straight up, man. You got that checklist,
Males and
right?
females have checklists.
Right. So you got that checklist of tangible things that you're looking for in a woman, but then you also have those untangibles, man. Those things that you can't put a word on, that X factor. And honestly, she's meeting both criteria, man. She's hitting on all that shit. If I was to write a list right now, she's hitting on all those and exceeding those things. But she's also hitting on those X factors and those things I never even thought about and just filling me all the way up, man. You understand me? I'm enamored by this woman.
I wanna ask Evan Maddie, do you believe in soulmates? And again, I want to preface this, something that we say on the Stay Woke podcast very often is that your beliefs don't have to determine my beliefs. Your beliefs don't.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But not everybody knows that and understands that. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Right.
I just want to put that out there.
Right.
Not that we need it, just for our listeners' sakes.
Absolutely.
All right. To answer your question, D-Ray, I do believe in soulmates. I do believe in that. But I also believe you only get one. Two at the max. You lucky you get two. All right. See, somebody like me, whatever the powers that be bestowed that one on me when I was 18 years old. I don't know what I'm doing with that. You know what I'm saying? And, but
hey, not to cut you off, man, but here's another thing. You got to be ready.
Not at 18.
And that's my point. You got to be ready.
Already at 18.
I want you to go ahead,
your
brother.
own little spot, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? It kind of went to my head like I got me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, like, once again, this may sound cliche. Like, yeah, once something is gone, you really do not realize, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man. And then, I went for a lot of years, actually, comparing this chick to that one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to be successful. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that right now.
Agreed.
And to this day, we communicate with each other. You know what I'm saying? Still say what's up to each other. But the thing is, she's married now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So it's like
somebody else got your soulmate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, shut your ass up.
I'm just,
You're right. You're right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
I just call it like I see it, bro.
Straight up.
it's just like, that's all I can really say. That's you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
once you find that one, but like I said, I was 18. I didn't know what I had,
Right.
If,
And if I can add to that, man, I feel like had I come across the woman that I'm enamored with now at 18, I wouldn't have been ready. To keep it all the way funky with you, had I come across her last year, I wouldn't have been ready, man.
It's all about timing.
It's that personal timing, man, because it hasn't been until like maybe 8 months ago that I was, I really got to a place where I was done with dealing with different women and going from relationship to relationship and realizing that, how do I say this, man? Realizing that it's really, man, it's really, you're going from one temporary situation to the next. And the question is, where is that long-term security, that long-term something that there's no words for, right? And honestly, man, if it wasn't this woman, I would still have about 4-5 on my team. Speaking of 4-5, and she might even get mad at me for saying this, but I'm just going to spell it out there because we on this podcast and I'm just going to tell her how it is, right? I've been so transparent with her that, when I met her, man, when on our first date, I really had about 4-5 on the team, right? And I'm going to go back to what I say, right? Because when you got your shit together, the hard part ain't getting them, it's getting rid of them. But there was something about her that made me tell her, like, all the way it is, like, hey, I'm dating these different women and this is just what time it is for me right now. You're something special. So I'm going to keep it all the way funky with you. Whereas with the other women I was dealing with, I wasn't keeping it all the way 100 with them, but there was something about her that told me keep it all the way truthful. So since me and her have gotten more serious, I've been breaking it off with all these other women I was dealing with, and I've kept her along the whole way. So what I mean by that is, when she's any correspondence that I've had with her, with the other women, I've told her about, to the point where there's text messages that I would screenshot and send her to let her know how serious I was about her. So, some of the women I was dealing with that I broke it off with would send me these crazy ass text messages like, man, fuck you and woo, 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 woo. You let me on to believe this and woo, 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 woo. And I would send her every correspondence because for me, it was important for me to be transparent with her and not have any trust issues.
Hold on, brother. I got to stop you right there. See,
yeah.
Now, if you got a one, you got a good one. That's saying we just going to call it a one. All right. Well, you got that. If you can, screenshot a text message that another chick done sent you and send to her, like, this is what I'm, this is when I'm, not trying to, like, that's not the road I'm trying to, I'm just trying to let you know.
Right.
Feel me?
Right.
That is somebody chasing after me, but I ain't got no eyes on you. If you got a one.
Because of what I will say, I want to
most definitely like cuss you like.
That's what I was about to say.
Because
not every girl, not every, I don't want to say girl because we dealing with women.
Right.
Not every woman is going to understand and appreciate that level of transparency.
Right.
And I do want to also kind of go back for a second. I just want to say I'm not for sure about soulmates. Me. I don't.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that, man.
It doesn't mean that you can find somebody that you love and care for and can have a long lasting relationship. I don't think it's that. I think because
I'm gonna stop you right there. Hold on, D-Ron. I'm gonna stop you right there. It's a touching subject. So I will say this.
No,
I believe in that shit. I'm talking about you could look somebody, if you could lock eyes with each other and they damn near know what you thinking.
And that's why I wanted
that's a real connection.
That's what I wanted.
I had that. I felt that before.
No, that's what I wanted to go into and say, what is our classification of soulmate? Because when I think of soulmate, my classification of it is like love at first sight kind of idea, because I do believe if our definition is that it's you can look into somebody's eyes and they understand what you're thinking, I believe in that. I believe that somebody can understand you so well that you can look in their eyes, or not even look in their eyes. You can know what they're thinking without them thinking.
I'm talking about
because you're that simpatico.
It's like just not even like we just locking eyes and we done did it for like 5-10 minutes at, you know what I'm saying, at times. Just that's a long time just be staring at somebody's eye like it's just we just had a conversation and we didn't say a word.
Because to me that's different than some other people's definition of soulmate. Because I think some people's definition of soulmate is literally, like I said, it's like love at first sight. It's like we were destined to be together, and regardless of what we say, what we do, it's just the fact that, you know, that we were supposed to be meant together, and like at instant of us meeting, our souls knew that we were meant to be together. I don't know if I believe.
Here's where your mind is betraying you, right? Because your mind, wants everything to fit in a nice little neat box, right? It wants everything to fit in a nice little neat box, so that
well defined.
It wants it to be black and white, so that you can worry about those priorities that are right here in front of you. However, when it comes to love, man, it's not that simple. When I met this woman that has done it for me, that has taken me off the market, that has gotten me all the way in, you feel me? It wasn't love at first sight, man. And first of all, I'm going to recite this poem. First of all, I'm not a poem reciting motherfucker at all. I ain't read a poem or wrote a poem since elementary school, but I'm going to share this poem with y'all tonight because this is the poem that I woke up at about 3-4 in the morning. You understand me? 3-4 in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, bro.
Hey,
I done wrote this poem early in the morning for this woman, man. And that, again, it just shows how, I can't think of a better word, man, how enamored I am by this woman, man. So I'm going to recite this shit for y'all, but I'm going to do it right after I make my point. And it's that your mind wants shit to fit in a nice little neat box. And one thing I say in this poem is that it wasn't love at first sight. But on the second date, man, bro, she said she shared some shit with me.
I believe it.
On the way home, I was like, I'm done. On the way home, on my drive home, I'm like, how am I going to break up with this one? How am I going to cut this one short?
Already contemplating.
I need to think about how I'm going to cut this one. How is she going to bust my windows out or not? I'm thinking about all that shit because I'm putting all my eggs in this basket that's so solid. I'm putting all my eggs in this basket. And here's my thing, right? I understand, man, bro. I understand that, you know, time changes shit, and what you thought was solid initially is not solid later. However, what I'm feeling right now is so strong from experience that even if this basket ends up not being so strong, I'm willing to risk it all to put all my eggs in this basket, man. I'm willing to risk it all. You feel me?
That's real.
Straight up. So on that note, man, I'm gonna recite this poem for y'all, man. Again, I'm gonna say this again, man. I ain't a poem reciting motherfucker, but I'm gonna recite this shit anyways. You understand me?
Hey, that's what love does. Love makes you do crazy things.
You are a good orator, so you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm most definitely, yeah. Hey, my folks up in here knows what time it is with me on this speaking shit, so I'm gonna do it anyways, right? So here we go. I'm in L. It's called I'm in L. I remember the first time I saw you. I honestly can say it wasn't love at first sight, but you had this real cool energy about you, and that's what caught my eye. But it wasn't until I saw you smile that I was like, I might have to add her to the team. See, a lot of brothers call themselves players, and by their standards, they just might be. But me, I'm from East Oakland. And on everything, I done had a different one for every day of the week. And that's how I was going to keep it. But you had different plans for me. I found myself texting you things like, you know, that were out of the character for me. Like, I'm starting to feel like you are the one. Like I don't know where I end and you begin. And since being with you, I feel like I have a gift that everyone wants, but very few understand, and even fewer will ever have. But these soft ass text messages are simply what you bring out in me. I can already see myself waking up to you every morning and still missing you like I ain't seen you in a while. I can see you in the crib cooking dinner when I come in, slap you on the ass, give you a kiss, and you look up and smile. Smile. Damn, that smile you got, I swear, could light up a city. You're like the torch in a dim world. So I gotta keep you with me. See, I gotta have you. Don't want nobody else. So I tell my folks I'm done. Y'all know I done did my thing. But I know I done found the one. My folks say, bruh, it's all good. In love, you just didn't fail. I tell them, check this out. Don't use that word around me. I'm a killer. Just say, I'm an L. And that poem is called I'm an L. Boom.
Young brother to the left in love.
You understand me?
Ooh, girl. I get more confident each time you call my name.
Effing Maddie on the vocals.
Nah, I mean, you're welcome. That was a real ass poem,
bruh. On anything, I wrote that
like,
about.
That's how you felt, huh?
Hey,
at that point in time, that's how you felt.
That's how I motherfucking felt, man. About 4 a.m, man. I woke up to go piss, couldn't get back to sleep. Was thinking about mama all morning, and that shit. It just came together. I don't write poems, man. I don't write poems. Not a poem writing motherfucker. But that morning, I done wrote a goddamn poem. You feel me? And I'm feeling so solid about the woman I'm with. I'm feeling so solid about myself that I felt the need to share that shit. You understand me?
If there was a poem or a line, anything for me to recite, I feel as though J. Cole wrote that track for me. You know what I'm saying? Like little baby, I just want to fold clothes for you. You know what I'm saying? Nah, if it's a if a female would make you do something like that, like just I want to do this for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want nothing back or nothing like that. I just want to do that, whatever it is for you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's love. But can we pivot to the checks and balances between love and lust?
Agree, man. We should most definitely do that, right?
Yeah.
Because I think
I was kicking with a family member, and this family member was, kind of like the way I interpreted it, and it's the way it came out was like, if we not having sex, on a daily basis or some type of, set schedule or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that, when you fiending for it, you know what I'm saying, and it's bad. I can't really fuck with somebody like that. I'm just like, well, then that just sounds like you just basing your relationship off of how good that person's sex is.
And if I can,
but
man,
I want to just jump in real quick. That I don't think that can be love, but I will say a good sex life is important in a healthy relationship.
Yes,
go to that, but it shouldn't be the end all be all though.
And here's the thing, man. It was
a deal breaker.
No, it shouldn't be that.
I was the biggest proponent of that, man. Like if the sex ain't right, then the shit ain't right, right?
Yeah.
I was the biggest proponent of that until I didn't just had this woman that did it for me up here. And for those of y'all that can see me, I'm pointing to my mind, man. I'm pointing to my temple. Until I had a female that did it for me up here, right? Because I just, the sex shit only goes so far, right? Here's the thing. Let me take a step back there. Let me take a step back because I really want to break this thing down in terms of, cause I'm a single dad. I got my little girl. It's just me and my little girl. And I was with my daughter's mother for about 6 years. And, from my own personal experience, I want to break this down between love and how someone makes you feel. Because, as people, we got to understand that there's a difference between love and how someone makes you feel. Because you can be in a situation where you think you're in love with somebody, but you're really in love with how they make you feel. Right? And you don't realize it until you have a kid with them. Or from a man's perspective. Let me only speak from a man's perspective. I can't speak from a woman's perspective. I'm only going to speak from a man's perspective, right? From a man's perspective, you think you're in love with a woman And at least this was me at 19, 20, 21 years old. I thought I was in love with her, but I was only in love with how she made me feel, right? But then when my little girl was born, she transferred all her energy, all her motivation, all her love to my daughter, which she was supposed to do. That's what a mother is supposed to do. But then with that, she left me lacking, right? And then when she stopped making me feel that way, I realized that, damn, we don't got too much left. Because I wasn't so much in love with her. I was in love with how she made me feel. So when she transferred that love to my daughter, again, what she was supposed to do, that's all you can expect from a mother, is to transfer that love to your child. That's what you want. When she transferred that love, I was like, damn, I don't think I love you like I thought I did. Right?
So
let me finish though.
That's just one attribute. You're right, yeah.
Let me finish though, because I think a lot of people get that shit confused. Do you love someone to their core? Everything about them. Their goods, their bads, their love for you, their love for your child. Do you love them all the way through? Because if you do, then that's real love.
Okay.
But we got to separate, because I think, again, sometimes we get confused, right? Between the love that they give to you and you just loving them at their best and at their worst. Do you love them for how they treating you and how they make you feel?
That's another checklist one right there. You know what I'm saying? It made me feel good. Check.
Man, that might be the case for you, right? That might be the case for you, And that again, that just comes from my experience, man. Do you love them for how they make you feel? Do you love them at their best and at their worst? If they didn't have $1 in their pocket, if they stopped looking the way that they look when you met them, do they stop making you laugh when you know what I'm saying? When you first met them, the way they made you laugh, right? And do you love them to their core? Do you love them at their best, and do you love them at their worst? That's the difference. And I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna let you speak, because I can tell you got something to say. This woman I'm with now, man, the one that's got me enamored, the one that's got me speaking on this whole shit, the one that's got us, transferred the whole topic. I love this woman at her best and at her worst, man.
That's what I was going to ask you is, let's say the same situation occurred, because I see the world in a scientific manner. That's why I like science so much, because it's well defined.
Right.
And I like that. And it makes sense.
Hey, we're on the same page there, man.
So when things don't make sense, that's when I really, for me,
like
that's
science, because it's tangible.
It's tangible and it makes sense.
To a certain extent, it's provable.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing, is like, it's like I said, it's well defined. And let's take this as an experiment. You have two variables now. You have the situation which you had with your daughter's mother. You know what I'm saying? And let's say that same situation happened with this new, we'll say your one.
Right.
If she had a child and she transferred that love to her child, as you stated that you're supposed to do you believe, again, this is all hypothetical, we can't really know for sure until it happens,
absolutely,
that you wouldn't have that hole, that emptiness that you felt in the prior relationship, because the love is different? And I want to tie this in, because when you came to the house and you talked about this and we changed the topic, like you said, for this, the first thing that popped in my mind, which is the album I keep on telling people they should check out, is Mick Jenkins' The Healing Component. And one of the questions that he poses on there, or that the woman that he's talking to, having these conversations in the interludes and the segues, is, do you think you love differently? Or do you think that you are in love with somebody differently? And the way that you're describing it, it sounds like both loves are real. And, they weren't fleeting. They weren't lust, as we were saying, like the difference between the two. We're talking about like both of them were real love, but you experienced them differently. And it sounds like you yourself are loving the individual differently. So my question to you is, in that situation, if it were to occur again, would you have that emptiness, one? And two, do you think you actively are acting differently of being in love with each of them?
Okay. Well, I really think it comes down to this, man. At 18, 19, I met my daughter's mother at 18. we were together till like 24, 25, maybe even 26. You know, the numbers are real fuzzy to me. But when you talk about my early 20s, man, my understanding of myself and my understanding of the type of woman that was a good fit for me was totally different than my understanding of myself and my understanding of the woman that was totally different from me at 30, which is what I'm at now, pushing 31. I understand that I have a much better understanding of what's a good fit for me. And I think, you know, ultimately, man, it comes down to you understanding yourself. Do you understand yourself well enough to understand that, or, you know, essentially to understand what's a good fit for you? Because again, at 18, 19, man, I was fresh out of high school, and I, you know, let's not get into the specifics, but if you had this, and that, I was with it, right? I only needed about a few things to be ready to go. But at 30, I need a whole bunch more things to be ready to go. And at 30, where I'm at now, man, this woman got all those things and more.
Gotcha.
So there's really no comparison to where I was at 18, 19 and to where I'm at 30.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Right.
That time difference, as well as
that maturity,
the
man,
discovery of yourself,
right,
is a key factor.
And right, so keep in mind, between the time that I've dealt with my daughter's mother, because shit didn't go so well there, I got up out of that relationship like, man, I'm knocking everything I can get. I'm taking everything down. Everything that presented, man, I'm on everything moving. I'm on everything moving, right? So it's coming from a place of experience. I done dealt with a good amount of women. And this woman I got now is knocking every goddamn body out the park. Home run hit, right? Knocking everybody out the park. To the point where if it get better than this, I don't even want to see it. I don't want to see it if it get better than this. This is it.
I gotcha.
You feel me? Boom. I'm going to leave it at that, man. I'm gonna, you know.
As Brother to the Left said, boom, we're going to leave it right there. And that concludes part 1 of Brother to the Left in Love episode. We will have a part 2 that will still have me, F and Maddie, as well as Brother to the Left talking more about love. We are going to have a part 3 with female perspectives. I try to get it for part 2. We just couldn't make it happen. So that will be on part 3. So come back and check out part 2 next week. Again, thank you for watching or listening to another Stay Woke podcast. This is D-Ray Brinson, and it's presented by thesonicbreakdown.com. You can always support us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Podomatic. We're on all of those, and we have a YouTube channel as well, Facebook page, Instagram page, Twitter, Tumblr. So check us out on all those platforms. Like, subscribe, comment. We're always interacting with our fans. So, you know, leave a comment, and we'll definitely reach back to you and talk to you. So again, thanks for rocking with us. You know our motto: live, listen to some great music, and above all, love more. We out.